Welcome to Witches in Yoga Pants, your cozy corner of the cosmos where modern magic meets everyday life. We're here to explore magic, mindfulness, and personal growth with a grounded, no-fluff vibe. Whether you're into moon rituals, tarot spreads, or just trying to survive Mercury retrograde, you are in the right place. So get ready to disrupt some old patterns, explore what it means to reclaim your power, and remember who you really are. So pull up your yoga mat, light a candle, and let's get into it. Hello and welcome. Whether you're here for the first time or you're coming back for more deep dives, I'm grateful that you're here. Today's conversation feels a little like a homecoming. We're talking about something that sits at the corner of everything I teach, everything I live, and everything I continue to learn. Learning to trust your intuition. You know, the quiet voice inside of you, the one that speaks softly but persistently. The nudge in your belly that says, this way, before your brain even catches up. It's that inner knowing that whispers, even when logic, fear, or practicality say something different. That instinct that you've probably ignored or doubted more times than you care to admit, yeah, that's what we're talking about. In this episode, we're going to explore what intuition really is, why so many of us have learned not to trust it, and how we can rebuild that trust step by step, moment by moment. We're going to talk about how intuition actually works in your body and your energy field, what blocks it, and what opens up when you finally start listening. If you've ever wondered, is this my intuition or just anxiety? Or why don't I trust myself? Or how do I tell the difference between fear and knowing? This one's for you. So, what is intuition? Intuition is your inner guidance system. Your original navigation tool, built in, custom tuned just for you. It's not your thoughts. It's not your emotions. It's something deeper, quieter, and older. It's the knowing that exists beneath logic or reason, that steady current of trust that hums underneath the noise of the world. Your intuition is personal. It's your native language of truth. It's always been there, but many of us have learned very early on to stop listening. Intuition isn't just mystical, it's physiological. Your body is built to sense, translate, and respond to subtle information long before your conscious mind can name it. The human nervous system is always scanning for patterns, energy shifts, and emotional cues. It's processing reality way faster than your intellect. That is why intuition feels instant. It's not thinking, it's perceiving. Your gut, your heart, your spleen, they're not symbolic. They are sensory centers of intelligence. The gut alone contains millions of neurons. Scientists call it the second brain. It processes emotion, vibration, and frequency in real time. And when you get a gut feeling, that's not imagination. That's neurobiology. Energetically, intuition lives in your electromagnetic field, the subtle current that extends beyond your skin and interacts with everything around you. You can feel when someone walks into the room in a bad mood before they say a word. You can sense when a place feels heavy or when someone's words don't match their energy. That's your field, reading information. When your nervous system is regulated, when you're grounded, centered, and safe, your field is coherent. You pick up on clear signs. When you're anxious, overstimulated, or disconnected, the signal gets distorted. It's like trying to tune into a radio station full of static. That's why nervous system regulation is such a core piece of intuitive clarity. You can't hear a whisper when your whole body is screaming. I see this constantly with clients who tell me, I'm not intuitive. Their system is stuck in survival mode. Their body is still scanning for threat, not listening for truth. And it's not that the intuition isn't there, it's just buried under the noise. When you breathe deeper, slow down, and stop rushing, your intuitive channel's clear. The static fades, and you start to notice again. And here's one thing to keep in mind. Emotions are energy in motion. When emotion stagnates, it clouds your intuitive signal. That's why releasing emotions through crying, movement, sound, or energy healing often brings sudden clarity. You're not making magic, you're clearing bandwidth. From a quantum perspective, intuition is resonance. Every intuitive moment is your personal field syncing with a larger field of universal intelligence. It's the great web of consciousness we all belong to. Those moments when life flows, synchronicity multiplies, and time feels effortless, that's coherence, and that's intuition fully online. So, trusting your intuition isn't blind faith. It's embodied awareness. It's energetic literacy. It's learning to read the language your body and the universe are speaking to each other every single moment. And when you start to live that way, everything softens. You stop forcing, you start listening, and life, it somehow begins to move with you instead of against you. So let's be honest. Most of us were trained not to listen to our intuition. From an early age, we were rewarded for compliance, for performance, or for being reasonable. Maybe you were told you were too sensitive or that you overreacted. Maybe your deep feelings made others uncomfortable. Maybe you were even punished or dismissed for having a knowing that couldn't be explained. Slowly, piece by piece, we learn to doubt ourselves. We learn that authority exists outside of us, and we learn that belonging often means abandoning our knowing. So, we started outsourcing our truth, checking in with others before trusting our gut, trying to find safety and consensus instead of clarity. And then somewhere along the line, we began to confuse approval with alignment. But intuition doesn't operate in logic or consensus. It speaks in resonance. It's a frequency of what's true for you, not what's popular, comfortable, or even convenient. So when people say, I don't have intuition, it's rarely true. What they really mean is, I have stopped learning to trust it. The good news is we can relearn. Intuition is not lost. It's simply waiting underneath the noise. And the first step of rebuilding that trust is understanding what's been layered over it. Conditioning is sneaky. It's a collection of beliefs, fears, and patterns that whisper in your ear before your truth can. It's your inherited programming, the shoulds and supposed tos that often sound responsible, rational, and even moral, but they're rarely true. Conditioning says be nice, keep the peace, don't rock the boat. Intuition is be honest, speak your truth, and choose your alignment. Conditioning will say to you, you'll disappoint people if you change. But your intuition says you'll disappoint yourself if you don't. Many of us have spent decades confusing the two. We call fear intuition because we feel it in our body. But fear contracts. Intuition expands. Fear makes you rush. Intuition invites you to breathe. This is where discernment comes in. Discernment is not judgment. It's truth tuning. It's learning to feel the difference between what's yours and what's not, between what feels aligned and what feels performative. So discernment isn't about choosing perfectly. It's about choosing consciously. It's about slowing down enough to ask, is this coming from fear or from love? Is this something I'm reacting to or responding from? And most importantly, does it feel like truth in my body? That's how you begin to untangle intuition from conditioning. One breath, one choice, one awareness at a time. I know this process intimately. For years, I second-guessed my intuition constantly. I'd get a clear hit, a yes, a no, a strong nudge, and within minutes, I'd talk myself out of it. I'd look for other people's opinions, overanalyzing the timing, convince myself I was imagining things, and I see this over and over again with clients. Without fail, weeks or months later, I'd realize my intuition had been absolutely spot on. It became almost comical how many times I'd look back and think, you knew exactly what that feeling meant. So eventually, I stopped trying to prove my intuition and I started studying it. I began to pay attention to how it felt in my body. For me, when something is aligned and true, I know it immediately. I have that splenic knowing in my human design type, and sometimes without even having a single thought before I know, I just know. Often with no proof at all. It's just a resounding sense of truth that I feel through my entire being. I've learned what this feels like for me in my body, and once I learned that sensation, my choices became easier. I don't have to debate every single decision in my head anymore. I've moved into a state where I trust that feeling. And here's what's beautiful. It's not unique to me. You have your own version of that language. Your body's way of saying yes, no, or not yet. You just have to learn to listen again. Your body is the most honest instrument you have. It doesn't lie. It can't. It speaks through sensations, emotions, and energy, and it's always guiding you towards balance, alignment, and integrity. Each type of authority in human design connects with the body differently. For those with emotional authority, your truth unfolds in waves, and you're not meant to know in the moment. You're meant to feel, to ride the tide, and to wait until the emotion settles before clarity arrives. For sacral beings, intuition is instant, it's visceral, it's a or response. That's your inner compass. And when you listen to it without judgment, your body becomes an oracle. For those with splenic authority like me, intuition is subtle and instant. It doesn't repeat itself, and it's always right. For self-projected beings, truth vibrates through your voice. You literally speak yourself into clarity. And mental projectors or reflectors' intuition depends on your environment and who you're with. Learning to trust your body means learning its language. It's about noticing the difference between tightening and softening, between excitement and urgency, and between expansion and tension. You can start by simply pausing before decisions and asking, what does this feel like in my body right now? Not what do I think, but how does it feel in my body? That pause is sacred, and it's where clarity begins. When you start letting your body lead, your life begins to reorganize itself around truth instead of expectation, and you stop chasing alignment and start embodying it. And yet, even as that clarity deepens, another voice often shows up. It's louder, faster, full of reasons to pause, question, and doubt what you already know. It's the part of us that still seeks control. And that voice is not intuition. It's the ego stepping in to manage things. The ego's job is to protect our identity. It loves safety, familiarity, and control. So when intuition whispers something that challenges your comfort zone, your ego throws a tantrum. It says, you can't do that, or you're probably wrong, or what if people think you're crazy? It loves to argue logic, to debate timing, and to present spreadsheets of pros and cons. But intuition doesn't need to negotiate. Your ego means well. It's trying to keep you safe using old data, past experiences, outdated fears, other people's opinions. Intuition, on the other hand, it works with current truth, and it's connected to the now. The trick isn't to silence the ego, but to recognize its voice and thank it for its concern. You might say, I hear you, but we're safe now and I've got this. For me, I can tell it's ego speaking when my head center gets involved. As soon as I feel like I'm sinking in rather than expanding out, I know. Intuition never feels like that. Intuition feels steady, even when it's asking me to leap. When you start distinguishing between these voices, you reclaim your peace. You no longer need to fight your thoughts. You simply choose which voice to follow. Sometimes this means learning to wait for clarity. As a projector, this has been one of my deepest lessons, the art of waiting. My energy isn't built for constant output. I don't thrive by forcing, I thrive by aligning, and intuition operates the same way. When I rush clarity, I usually end up in confusion. But when I pause and I allow space for knowing to arise, the answer always comes and it always feels obvious. That's what I mean when I say intuition isn't about effort, it's about timing. The universe speaks in rhythm, not deadlines. When you learn to trust divine timing, you stop grasping and you start receiving. Waiting doesn't mean doing nothing. It means tending to your energy, resting, nourishing yourself, creating that internal spaciousness that allows truth to surface. The irony is, the moment you stop demanding the answer, you create the quiet that allows you to hear it. So let's talk about a few rituals you can use to begin to strengthen your intuition. When you're rebuilding trust with your intuition, consistency matters more than intensity. You don't have to meditate for an hour every day or disappear into the woods on a vision quest. What matters is creating small, repeatable moments where you connect back to your inner voice. Place one hand over your heart and the other on your belly and ask, what do I need right now? Don't analyze the answer. Just notice what rises first. Maybe it's water, rest, movement, solitude. Whatever it is, honor it if you can. Each time you do, you strengthen that inner bridge between sensing and trusting. I tend to use this exercise whenever I'm feeling overwhelmed. Another simple ritual is energy clearing. You can clear energy through breath work, smudging, shaking, salt bath, or even just stepping outside and taking a few deep breaths. Nature's one of the greatest teachers of intuitive rhythm. Try walking without your phone, even without a destination. Let your body choose the pace and notice how the earth feels under your feet, how the air shifts on your skin, and how your breath naturally deepens. You're not looking for signs, you're just attuning to flow. Water is another powerful ally. I have used water as a reset for years. And as I wash my hands, I might set intentions of releasing anything that's not mine. Or when I'm standing in the shower, I imagine water carrying away energy that doesn't belong to me or any stresses that I've been carrying. Simple, intentional gestures like this remind your nervous system that you don't need to hold on to everything. And clarity is always available. Sound, too, can clear the channel. You can hum or drum, chant, or play music that helps you drop into your body. The vibration recalibrates you back into the present moment, and intuition lives in the present. Perhaps the most overlooked but vital self-ritual of all is silence. In a world of constant noise, silence has become sacred. Even 5 minutes a day of true stillness can change your relationship with intuition. Intuition doesn't exist in isolation. It's deeply interconnected with the collective field. It's the energetic web that links all of us. When we each begin to trust our intuition, that resonance ripples outward and it strengthens the collective coherence of truth. Have you ever noticed how people you love can feel you thinking about them, or how you might get a text right after you're thinking about someone you haven't seen in years? That's not coincidence, that's resonance. It's the invisible current of shared awareness that flows between beings who are attuned. When we collectively ignore intuition, societies become chaotic. We see disconnection and burnout, a world that values logic over life. When we collectively listen, we see synchronicities, collaboration, compassion, and a world that remembers itself as one living system. You are part of that system, and every time you honor your truth, you contribute to the collective healing. Every time you choose alignment over approval, you send a frequency of integrity into the field. Every time you pause before reacting and listen to what's real, you can restore coherence in the world around you. We are all tuning forks in a global symphony, and when we tune to truth, the whole song changes. So, how do you live this practically? How do you bring intuition out of the meditation cushion and into the messy, ordinary rhythm of your life? You start by choosing to listen, even in small ways. When you're making decisions, what to eat, who to spend your time with, which email to send, start checking in with your body. Does this choice feel open or closed? Does it bring expansion in your breath or tightness? Does your energy rise or sink? Let these sensations inform you. In relationship, intuition shows up as subtle cues. When you're feeling drained after being with someone, that is information. When you feel safe and expansive, that's information too. The goal isn't to judge others, but to honor what your body knows about resonance. In your creative life, intuition often appears as spontaneous ideas, dreams, or impulses. Trusting them is how you collaborate with life itself. Creativity is intuition in motion, and it's your soul making art through you. In your health, intuition speaks through your body long before symptoms arise. When you do experience symptoms, the key is to listen. Your body isn't betraying you, it's communicating something. When you integrate intuition into your daily life, you stop separating the spiritual from the practical, and that changes everything. Life stops feeling like a problem to solve and starts feeling like a conversation you participate in. You become less reactive and more receptive, and you move from trying to control life to co-creating with it. As we close, I want to invite you into a moment of stillness. Wherever you are, take a slow, deep breath in. Let it move all the way down to your belly. And then exhale gently. Remember, your body has never stopped communicating with you. It's always been guiding you. Even when you couldn't hear it, it was still speaking to you. You don't have to chase your intuition. There is no need to prove it or perfect it. You just have to remember how to listen. So, as you move through your day, pay attention to the subtle yeses and the quiet no's and the whispers that feel like truth. Trust that even when it doesn't make sense, it's leading you somewhere meaningful. Your intuition is your oldest, most loyal friend you'll ever have. It's the voice of your soul, reminding you that you already know the way. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If this episode spoke to you, please share it with a friend, leave a review, come say hello over on Instagram or TikTok at Witches in Yoga Pants. I love hearing how these conversations land for you. And honestly, I love the feedback I get with all the text messages and emails. And if you're not sure what your authority is in your quantum human design, there's a link below where you can download your free chart and report. Until next time, trust your rhythm, honor your knowing, and let your inner voice lead the way. Take what you've heard today even further by joining my newsletter community. Each week, you'll receive journal prompts and reflections connected to the episode that are designed to guide you in bringing these conversations off the podcast and into your own journey. Let's keep going deeper together. The link is waiting for you below.